Yes, I am wearing the same outfit as usual. Why do you ask? Here is my first movie review. I actually watched this movie in December because this is a very Christmassy movie. It does take place in Christmas, and I did write down notes on it, but I didn't end up filming it because I didn't really know how. Like, I couldn't figure out how to screen record what I was watching and then record myself while watching it. So instead, I'm just gonna do like a little movie review right now because I have time to film, and I still have kind of this little mini script that I made a few months ago during Christmas. Without further ado, here is Annie. I'm specifically doing the 1999 version. That's mostly because that's the year I was born and because that's the version I decided to rent out. And yeah, another reason why I couldn't film the video was because the movie, I only rented out for like 48 hours, I think? Something like that. This specific movie was released on November 7th, 1999. It's considered a musical comedy drama, and it is directed by Rob Marshall, and it has some pretty big names in the cast, including Kathy Bates, Kristen Chenoweth, and Sarah Hyland. Sarah Hyland actually plays Molly, like the littlest one. And yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with the movie. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a solid 8 out of my 8 out of 12 stars. Of course, 12 is my lucky number, so that's what I'm going to be rating it off of. So yeah, 8 out of 12 stars. One of the reasons why I'm taking off, I'm actually gonna take off 2 points for this because I've seen movies in the 90s, like some of these 90s movies are so good, and there's something about the quality of this movie that just looks like it was made in like the 70s or 80s, like, and I bought the official version, so this is the best version that I could find. So I was just shocked by the quality of the movie. If you rent the movie or buy it online through Disney, it's not that expensive. Start to watch it and the quality is just kind of bad for its time. Not that I'm expecting too much for a television movie, but I was just expecting a little bit better from Disney. But other than that, I really did enjoy how accurate it was to the stage productions. It stayed pretty true to the way it was on Broadway, and I personally watched my school's version of Annie and I just loved it so much. I was obsessed with Annie. I went home and I learned all the songs. I was like probably 11 or 12, and that was so much fun. And so as someone who has seen a stage production of Annie, it was my local school's production, it just reminded me so much of that, and I think they did a really good job at being faithful to the stage production. And speaking of the songs are top tier. I loved every single one of them, and they were just sung so well. I believe her name is Alicia Morton, and she did such a fantastic job. And speaking of the actors, Kathy Bates did such a good job as Miss Hannigan. I think all the kids did really well. I loved how New York it felt, like that was so fun, and it was just a really fun, feel-good movie. Okay, my camera just fell. But yeah, I already talked about why I deducted 2 points off the movie. It lost 4 points. I did think there was something about the dialogue that was a little bit cheesy to me. Like, goes for all the actors, not just, specific ones, not just the kids or the adults. There's something about the line delivery, I think it just felt too Broadway. Like, there's some things that don't always translate from Broadway to the movies. Like on stage productions, they tend to use more makeup, they tend to use a lot more expressions, like bigger expressions, because that way everyone can see what they're doing, because there's some people that are super far away and people need to be able to like kind of see them. And I think this movie kind of did a little bit overboard on that, because it is a movie, like, we can see them. Another reason why I deducted points was because I think the costume design could be a little bit better. Like, I really liked it, but I don't know, I think it could have been a little bit more interesting. But other than that, I think they did a really good job with like the songs, the musical, the cast. Overall, this was a really faithful adaptation to Annie, and I don't really have anything negative to say, besides some complaints. It's just me putting on my critical thinking brain. But overall, yeah, this movie, it got an 8 out of 12 stars, and it's a fantastic movie. If you ever have some downtime around Christmas or November, December, you can just go ahead and put this movie on the background, and it's just so cute, and you'll love it. Like, this is like a perfect movie to eat cookies and drink milk with. Bye.